Hello there and welcome back. My name is Elena.
And I am Fotios, and this is the Game Court.
And yes, you guessed it, it's that time of the month, the game of the month.
And for this month, we have selected for you Chimera Station. So this game is a game recommended to us by Evangelos.
Thank you, Evangelos. It's actually his game, really.
Exactly, it's his copy. And we published this video about best worker placement games, and he said to us, if you like worker placement games, you need to play this one. And we did, and we liked it. So Chimera Station is a 2 to 4 player game, designed by Mark Major and published by TMG Games.
In this game, the main thing you will try to do is genetically modify your aliens, which are technically your workers,
yes.
to command and to build your spaceship.
And
did I say spaceship? Space station.
Yes, the Chimera Station.
The station.
The Chimera Station.
The Chimera Station.
And isn't it amazing how you modify your workers? Can
That's
you tell
amazing.
me more about this?
Do you want me to tell you more about
I
it?
will tell you, yes.
Well, it's very easy. It's all on the cover. So what you do is technically you get these monsters that are kind of technically basic, and you can break them in the middle, more like those.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get different parts for them, and you have 3 different extra parts, and these parts get attached to the base of the worker, the alien, and then you attach the head back so you can have same tentacles, like 2 extra levels. Sometimes you can get 3.
Yeah, you have tentacles, you have claws, you have leaves.
Yes,
and the brains, and the brains.
And the brains
yes.
and all of it. Every part of the body does a different thing. All the 3 different parts of the bodies will give you different benefits. It depends on how or you can combine them, and that will give you some different extra benefits, if that makes any sense. So all in all, though, really, you take your aliens, your worker aliens, you put them in the lab, you slice them.
Exactly right.
And then you put some more tentacles on top.
Exactly.
And then you sandwich them back together and send them to work. And then they give you extra perks for doing that.
And then you can take them again to the laboratory to again cut them and remove these extra parts. And by doing that, you do some research. You advance in the research track, right? It only makes sense.
I mean, technically you do learn, right?
So the game is played over 5 rounds. And in each round, you take your workers. You have several workers. I think in a 2-player game, we start with 4 workers, and you can have up to 6 workers. Mm-hmm. And you take the workers one by one, in turn order, and you place them out. You can place them out to construct new rooms in Chimera Station, and by doing so, you get a lot of points, especially as the round progresses. You can set them out to get resources, and you can get money, you can get food, and you need food because you have to feed your aliens at the end of every round, unless they have the plants. So they can feed themselves, right, if they have plants.
Boy, do they eat. As a main mechanic, this game offers you a very beautiful worker placement. Obviously, we've already discussed about this. You have different actions on the side.
Alien placement, basically.
Alien slicing kind of thing. And you can place them onto the side, on the outside, the actions that are kind of set for the board. Mm-hmm. And there you can get some extra parts, or you can get some extra stuff like resources like money or food that you have to feed everybody, because you have to feed everybody. Or you can go on the main board on the Chimera Station itself, and you can build, or you can use the actions that are already built. You can build extra tiles in there, extra rooms that will do extra things. You can technically go anywhere you want with the monsters, and obviously having some extra tentacles or extra parts, genetically modified parts, then that will give you some extra benefits.
And by advancing in the research track, apart from getting more workers, you also get some perk cards. And these perk cards allow you to do even more cooler stuff. They might give you ongoing abilities or end-of-game scoring, or even private worker placement positions only for you.
And let me tell you, I'm not a massive fan of extra cards. I lose myself in them most of the times. But these cards, I was quite reluctant, and I started taking them.
They're very nice.
And they're so good, aren't they? They're so fun.
They're so
much fun. And you can get them, and they can give you some extra actions, or they can give you stuff like, retrieve a worker or repeat an action and stuff or get extra points from how many. So many extra things that are so good. Oh, mentioning that, because we're mentioning mechanics at this point, you have obviously asymmetric powers in this game. I think it's happened that it had asymmetric powers. Every faction gives you, there are only four factions, but they have a side A and a side B for kind of simpler and more advanced if you want to use something else in the game, but that's available for anybody that wants to use it.
And another aspect in the game is that whatever you do, you get a lot of perks, some small bonuses. So whenever you place a room in the Chimera Station, you cover a bonus, you get that bonus, and it might be significant. It might be a lot of coins, or a lot of food, or a part, even a genetic part. And even when the market does not refresh automatically of the rooms, so you have to do an action to refresh the market, and when you do so, you get again all the perks, but then you refresh the market and the next player can put out a super duper room. So it's a bit also, there's a negative part to it.
And if we're talking about art and production, and this is a 2017 game, so it's not, it's not come out fresh, and all the fresh games are like full of double everything, double layered everything, extra things, double printed whatever. Everything has an extra double super duper, doesn't it? I don't think this game has it. Plus the art looks quite childish. To be honest, I saw it and I was like, do I really want to play it? And
But it's nice, right?
then you open the box and then you have like all the tentacles and all the plastic things, and I'm like, this just looks like a child game, right? And then it's not anything apart from a child game though, really. It's like, so it's fun to play, but it has quite a body to it already, this game. But art, yeah, super childish inside with all the little pieces and whatnot. It's overall very fun to play. They look quite silly when you see them with all the different tentacles and whatnot. I like it.
We have the deluxe version here with us, and it has some nice components. Apart from the plastic pieces, you also have the wooden food tokens, which are like hamburgers. Yeah. And then you also have the metal coins, which are also nice. Maybe the ones are a bit too small, but yeah, that's a minor thing. Now, the theme is, I think it goes with the game well. I'm not sure if the theme came first or the design came first. I want to say, I assume that the design came first and then they put this theme. But the theme works for the game, I think. The way the aliens are spliced and, it put parts and they are made better workers and so on and so forth. How the Chimera Station expands. I think the theme works well for this particular game. But yet, it's not the strongest of the themes, I would say, still.
I mean, anything that's sci-fi goes a long way, I guess.
Yeah, at least it's not another base Euro game, I would say.
You don't have tentacle in a Euro game.
Exactly. Neither plastic components like that, yes. We already mentioned the player count. This game is from 2 to 4 players, no solo mode here. Now, when it comes to the game length, I think it's quite reasonable. For 2 players, it's about 60-70 minutes, not more than that. With 4 players, it might increase a little bit, but I don't think it becomes much more than 90 minutes because, with 4 players, you start with less workers. You don't have 4 workers to start with. Now, the rulebook is, I would say, pretty bad. At least for my taste. It's one of the few games that I had to watch a couple of videos to understand how it's played, how it works. And actually, I watched the video by Rado Ran Through. It was very, very nice. And he used a prototype version of the game where he didn't have the nice, cool plastic pieces. He had Lego pieces that he attaches to.
Is that a bad thing?
I don't know, it's a bad thing, but yeah.
Righty. Yeas and nays.
Okay, let's start with yays.
Do you want to start with nays this time?
No, let's start with yays.
Fair enough. I can do the first yay.
Go for it.
Oh, you do the first yay.
Alright, I think it's a very cool implemented worker placement game. That's my first yay. I think it's an obvious one. It is a worker placement game, but has these 2 cool aspects that we already mentioned. One is how you upgrade your workers to make them stronger and take even cooler actions, how you modify them basically, how you specialize them. And the other cool aspect is, as the game progresses, the expanding options that you have when it comes to worker placement positions.
Oh, let me stop you there. 1 yay at a time.
Oh, my yay was about the cool aspects of worker placement of the game. That was my yay.
My first yay is the way you upgrade your workers. Not because I've not seen, worker upgrade before, but I don't think I've ever seen workers sliced and then, glued back together. I like that, it's funny, and I really enjoyed it.
I've seen this in other games recently, like, for instance, Darwin's Journey. You have these seals, the wax seals, that you specialize your workers, right? But I think the way that they have done it here is cool, it's tactile, it makes sense. You see the worker upgraded, right? It's fun. It's what it is. It's fun.
Plus, Darwin's Journey came out after this game.
Well, many years after, yeah.
Yeah, so this was definitely example. Inspiration.
One of the aspects I like in this game is that, in the beginning of the game you start a bit slow, but as the game progresses it really explodes and you have this very big turns that you get a lot of points, maybe 20-30 points in a turn, because you build a building and the points of the building is multiplied by 3 in the 5th round. And then you get some perks, you get extra points, you go to the end of the research track and you get even more points. So all of these big turns at the end of the game are very, very satisfying. I really like this aspect.
What I like super much are the perk cards, which I don't necessarily like, and I think I've already said that before. but I think they did a very good job with them, and I think it kind of separates the players a little bit. It gives everybody a little bit of a different power,
Even
and
more asymmetry, yes.
a different advantage, what I really, really like. I like playing the same, I like playing the same game, but I think because there's so many different ones, it gives you a different variability to the game as well. So I really like that very much.
Another game from my side is with regards to the rooms itself. You have a stack of rooms, and the different rooms come out at the beginning of every game, so different strategies appear there. As the game progresses, more or less, you're going to have all the rooms out, or maybe 70% of the rooms out, 75% of the rooms out. So that will be a bit samey towards the end. But how the game begins, so how you build your strategy, what components you go first, how you make your upgrades first, all of this matter a lot in the beginning of the game when you don't have that many options to go. Any nays from your side?
I do have some nays. Do you want to start? No, you started the yays. I'll start the nays.
Just have the nays.
Surprisingly, one of my nays is actually one of your yays. I don't think I like very much the way it kind of starts very slowly and then it just explodes at that point.
Okay.
I feel that it just took me by surprise, where it's like taken a while to build up and then it exploded exponentially so fast that I felt like I didn't manage to catch on with the game properly. I didn't have enough time to prepare for such an expansion. I wasn't sure I don't know whether I just looked at it linearly, but it just exploded, and then I didn't know what to do with the extra stuff, and I didn't know where to put anything. And I like, if I can prepare myself, I am that kind of player.
A nay from my side is with regards to the rulebook that could be better, and of course this applies to the people who read the rulebooks. So it's not a nay for you anyway.
Never going to be a nay.
Yeah.
I tried at one point, I think, to read some rule books.
It was the Verdun game, wasn't it?
Yeah, God, that was a mess. I think I tried and it just didn't work very much, so now he took over.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the rulebook's not the best. They could have done a better job with it. It's a bit messy and it doesn't explain the concepts properly. So yeah, and a good rulebook goes a long way. And even if the game is not the most complex game of the world, and this is about, 3 to 3.2 in BGG rating out of 5 in terms of complexity, it's not the simplest, but it's not the most complex either. But yet, a rulebook must be very good these days. Publishers don't tend to spend enough attention on the rulebook sometimes just to get the game out as soon as possible.
Another day, because it's very hard for me to just leave one. The plastic components
you have to be judgmental, right?
It has. If I say two yays, it has to be two nays. Sometimes
I
don't have nays, but it's always good to add something. It's never 100%, is it?
There's always room for improvement. Yeah.
The plastic components are super duper fun, and I really enjoyed playing with them. But at one point, I was like, I'm a fairly strong woman, and I felt like it took me ages to pull them apart and whatnot, and it took so while to push them in and all of that. So they were not easy to move in and out. Maybe it's the material, because it's plastic. It's some sort of plasticky plastic, if that's a word. I don't know. It might be a material thing.
And because not our copy, we're a bit afraid not to break anything as well. Yeah.
Unless you want to pay for another copy.
I'm not sure if you can find this deluxe copy.
Oh, even better.
Yes.
Any more nays?
I don't think I have any other nays. And overall, I quite enjoy the game. I think it plays very well. It plays very smoothly. It's very enjoyable. It doesn't overstay its welcome whatsoever. And for me, it gets a recommendation for sure.
Yeah, fun.
Fun. It's funny, yes.
It's fairly fast to play.
It has a good presence on the table with a good components. Easy to understand, yes.
Yeah. We made it the game of the month.
Exactly, so we like it.
All in all, it's a good game. Any game recommendations?
Yes. Well, I did mention that I was journeying earlier, which also has this aspect of upgrading the workers to better workers. But actually, my game recommendation here will not be Dark Journey, it will be Flamecraft. And the reason for that is because in both games, we start with very little positions, very few positions around the board. And as the game progresses, you have so many options that you can go, so many different options with so many different benefits. And again, with Flamecraft, as the game progresses, you go somewhere and get a lot of resources, etc. So this is my game recommendation. So yes, Flamecraft is much lighter than this one for sure, and you don't upgrade your workers, but you have this expansion of the board across the game.
Interesting. I think as a game recommendation, I'm going to go with Lost Ruins of Arnak.
All right.
And I know that's very different than what it is. I tried to think of a game that is more like, sci-fi and I just couldn't find anything. But Arnak has the worker placement, although you have not as many workers and they all stay the same. But you have this like expanding map, so you can discover new sites and you can go and visit them afterwards after you destroy the monsters. So that kind of like expansion of the map, I thought of it, and then that gives you quite a lot of bricks.
And the other similarity with Arnak is, with Lost Ruins of Arnak, is the racetrack. You have a single racetrack as well.
There's always a racetrack.
Yes, exactly. In all the games, yes.
Righty, that was it for today then.
So that was our game of the month, Chimera Station.
I hope you enjoyed it.
And thanks so much for watching.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.